Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm talking about the power of self-love. Transformation leads us into a place where we become more connected with who we are. It takes us through the process of letting go the identity that we have been given since we arrived into this earth. You see, our identity comes right from the time of conception, and it progresses through all the experiences of life. So we become so attached to that identity that we literally forget who we really are. And with the experiences of life that it brings to us, we start to forget bit by bit by bit, and only get the grasp of the 20% of who we are, which is what is on the outside, the things that we see. And then we totally forget the other 80%, which is what we call the subconscious mind, or the invisible part of who we are. We spend most of the time with the things that we see, and we learn to adapt, to conform, to work with what we see. But there's another part of us that is so neglected. That is the part that reminds us who we are. That is the part that reminds us on what it is or what it means to love ourselves. So once we have been walking through the journey of transformation, there are some experiences that gives us glimpses of that little bit of who we are. And that is the bit, or those glimpses are what draws us, or what makes us really continue working through the process of transformation. So the transformation, we are letting go of the old self so we can embrace the part of us that is new. But it's really not new, because it always has been inside of us. It always has been us, except that we've not been consciously connecting with that part of us. And I remember many years ago, I woke up to this song that is called "Where Do Broken Hearts Go?", which was sung by Whitney Houston. The song stayed with me most of the morning. And by almost towards noon, I began to realize maybe there is a message in this song, because I wasn't quite familiar with the lyrics of that song. So I searched on the internet to see what is really being said to me. And when I read the lyrics, I realized the brokenness of what the singer was talking about. And it was that moment that made me to understand that there is a lot of brokenness that we live with, and then we identify ourselves with that brokenness. And as soon as I understood that, I clearly heard, return to love. How can these people return to love? So I was at a loss for words, because I'd been walking through my own journey of self-healing. I didn't realize that what I was doing was leading me back to love. But it was that moment it dawned on me that, oh my gosh, so this is what I've been doing. So all this clearing and all this letting go and all this acceptance has been leading me to this place that is called return to love. And what is being asked of me now is, what do you want me to do? Is who can help them to return to love? So this question was being posed to me for a reason. And I didn't know that in my own personal transformation, I had progressed to the point that now I was ready to be a teacher who can teach others on how to return to love. And it wasn't very easy, but from within me, I knew exactly what I was being asked. So I just said, send them to me. I had no clue what I was going to do. I had no idea what I was going to teach these people that were being sent my way to help them return to love. But the process unfolded. Bit by bit, I began to understand what I needed to do. Some of the things I needed to take action in order for me to understand what was being called of me. I had lots of failures. I took lots of action that wasn't really what I was being guided to do. But I was just going on a limb and guessing what I was being guided to do. In those days, I didn't understand that there was a time when you needed to stand and listen and wait so that you can get clear guidance of where you're going. Because I was so used to asking other people, everyone that was on the outside of me, to guide me into what I felt I was being called to do. Unfortunately, it wasn't revealed to them, so they didn't know either. So every guidance that I got from different ends felt in the outside, it looked like it was the proper thing to do. But on the inside, I did not resonate with it. So I struggled to walk with it. Until the point I totally understood that I had returned to love. So my journey as a teacher, as a healer, was to help other people return to love. So what is returning to love? It is the understanding of who you are. That as a being, you are love. Before you are manifested in the physical body, in the spirit, or the spirit of who you are, the other parts that we don't see, the seed of it, the source of it, is really love. And we are connected to that source, which is love. So we are a part or a piece of the source that is love, that is separated itself in order to fit into this body, so it can create this body and express itself as you, as me, but still remaining connected to that love. And unfortunately, in this reality, we experience things that make us forget that of which we are. And then once we have forgotten who we are, we start looking on the outside of us to find answers for the issues that we are going through. But the reality is, when we return to love, when we return to self-love, then we can reconnect with the source of the love that we are, and we begin to understand fully why we are here, and the truth and our authenticity and our purposes begins to unfold, because we have returned to the source, and we start to understand the things that we were seeking on the outside of us. They become knowledge for us that's coming from the inside of us. So I learned many years ago that taking care of yourself is just looking after the outside body, having massages, taking rest and all that. But there is much more of me than the one that can be seen. There is a part of me, the influential part, the guiding part, the mental part, the spiritual part, the soul part, that is not seen by the natural eyes. So that is the part that we all need to accept, and we all need to love, acknowledge, appreciate, and return to that part, so we can become in alignment and in harmony with the whole, not just the bit that we see. So self-love really doesn't just encompass looking after ourselves on the outside. It means that, and it also means looking after ourselves on the inner part of the part that we do not see. There are so many things that we can do to enhance that, to align with that, to work with that. But most of the time we are in disharmony with that, so we operate from a place of lack, and we operate from a place that we don't understand, and we want to seek answers outside of us when we really have everything that we need inside of us. We are much more powerful than we can even comprehend. We are much more than we can even see. So when we are returning to love, we are returning to something that is much bigger than just the physical that we see. And when we return to that source of our being, then we can connect with society. We can connect with the environment in a level, or at a level, that is loving. Because now we know how to love ourselves. So that is what is going to manifest on the outside of us. Because we truly understand that we are not the only one here. That we are not here for a competition. That we are not here to be better than the other. That we are here to fully express ourselves as love. And as we're expressing ourselves fully as love, we do understand that even everyone who is here is also here to express themselves fully as love. So we can acknowledge and accept them in that way. And then we can understand that in our environment, it's also here to express itself as love. So we are not alone. And we are not in this thing on our own. We are all working together to express ourselves as love. The environment, the animals, the trees, the air, the water, and even us humans. So when we fully understand that, we finally come to a place of self-love. Thank you for watching me today.